What's going on, guys? This is Trey as Raw here, and I'm back with another video. And today I'm going to be breaking down to you guys the 4 types of Madden haters that we have in the community. And we're going to start at number 1. Now, this group of people is going to be known as the tryhards, but really we have 2 categories in this one. We have your regular tryhards, and you have the competitive players. Now, the regular tryhards are, people that all they care about is winning, right? They don't really care about anything else about the game as long as they get to win. They are the type of people that just play online and they play to win. High on skill, but low on perspective. Now, this is the kind of stuff that has been bred into the DNA of Madden. I mean, you can go back to 2000, there was a TV show that you can find on YouTube called Madden Nation. I have it pulled up right now in my playlist, but this was a real TV show. And the competitive scene back then was a lot of fierce. I mean, obviously, you go back and you watch it now, it's pretty cringe to say the least. But that was what you did back then. And it's kind of the same way now. Now, the second type of people in this community are going to be known as the competitive players. And make no mistake about it, guys, the competitive players are in a cult. There is no two other ways to that. Now, the competitive players, the tournaments that you see get streamed on EA Sports YouTube channel with the fancy studios. You talk about your Henrys, the Skimbos, and all that jazz. And it is in a cult. And the reason why it's in a cult is because, number one, the tournaments that they compete in is Ultimate Team. So now at first you might think that that's EA being greedy, right? It's like, okay, well, obviously EA Sports makes more money when players use MUD, so yeah, obviously they would do that on Ultimate Team. But if you really take a step back and you look at it, if you're a competitive player and you're constantly making these tournaments, it's a smart thing to want the tournaments to be on Ultimate Team, because you're eliminating the common man. You're eliminating the person, because any logical person is going to see how much money is involved in entering in these tournaments. He's gonna say, well, I'm just gonna play Fortnite or something. Like, you want me to spend $1,000 a week on Ultimate Team cards and able to compete? Like, what are we doing? And the people will unironically say and defend this and say, oh, well, if you want to become a professional Madden player, then you have to take it seriously. You should be able to spend, some money here and there. I don't know of a single sport or a hobby that requires you to pay $1,000, but you know what? You want to play competitive Madden and you don't have $1,000, you're fucking broke. Like, don't play competitive Madden if you don't got $1,000 a week to just be throwing in the game. Like, goddamn. So yeah. And then when you ask these people, hey, I want to be involved in these tournaments. How can I do it? They might give you an answer, but really what they're saying on the inside is this.
We're sorry, but your kind isn't allowed here.
Alright, so now we're going to get into number 2 of this thing. And number 2, we have the nostalgic hater. Enter Soft Drink TV. Now, this guy has definitely been on his grind for a while. He makes very well good videos about past sports games and, well, video games in general. Modern and in the past, but obviously the main focus is definitely on previous glory years. Now, I'm not here to talk to you about soft drinks content, because obviously the dude makes good content, and my content, on the other hand, is definitely the shittiest on the YouTube platform. I mean, There's no doubting that. However, it is a problem because of the nostalgic factor, okay? Now, I don't need to do a whole big deep dive. I mean, you should know how nostalgic works. Um, I'm around the same age as Soft Drink TV, so I played a lot of the games that he played. And, I have fond memories of playing the games, but I mean, I think the main reason why I have fond memories of playing these games, is because I was young, I had no responsibilities, I could sit there and play PlayStation 2. And honestly, the games themselves weren't bad, but they're definitely not perfect like, people like Soft Drink TV and others make it seem like. I mean, there were problems with those games, but because the memory itself is good, you're looking at it through those rose tinted glasses, and it just makes all the stuff that was bad just kind of disappear. That's a breakdown. Now, my big problem with the nostalgic viewer has to do with their number one criticism. It always goes back to Ultimate Team. They cannot comprehend the fact that Ultimate Team and microtransactions in game is a thing in modern gaming. Now, now I would be able to accept this because, even people that are nostalgic about music and movies and stuff, they can say, "Oh yeah, music back 20 years ago was way better." But for some reason, I always get the vibe that because I bring up this point a lot, I'm like, there's literally crossword puzzles. You can look at the App Store, there's crossword puzzles that have microtransactions. Every major sporting game has microtransactions. But I just get the vibe that, people that complain about Ultimate Team think that this is an issue that only applies to Madden, and it's literally not every other single game that exists modernly. I mean, if you really think about it, if there's an app that is about crosswords that has microtransactions, it makes zero sense why a major sport game like Madden is going to have Ultimate Team. Name me one game, and it better not, if you're going to do this, if you're going to name me a game that does not have microtransactions, that is a modern game, it better not be some obscure, game that only 5,000 people play. Name me a game that's as popular as Madden, right? Because we're talking about popularity here. Name me a game that's as popular as Madden or thereabouts that does not have microtransactions. And another thing that makes me upset is, you have all these people that complain about microtransactions in Ultimate Team. Why aren't you guys talking about the ripoff that it is about trying to buy retro games? No one's talking about how big of a ripoff it is to try to get a PS2 nowadays. Now I understand, right, that, video games that are old, they do come back to modern games that aren't sports games, right? Because obviously, it makes no sense to remaster, the NFL Streets and stuff like that, because people want to play with updated rosters, and that's probably a whole snafu with that and trying to get the licensing and, whatever. So yes, I do understand that, but, if I wanted to play NFL Street 2, no one's saying, hey, this is a ripoff. I don't care how much of a niche it is. I shouldn't spend $200 to buy a PS2 so that I can play the games from back in the day. It is just ridiculous. And yes, I know that emulators exist. I don't have a PC, but that's what I'm planning to do. So that is definitely my rant for the nostalgic viewer. Just get over the fact that that Ultimate Team is here to stay, right? Like, it's it's here, it's not going away. This is the modern state of gaming. And believe it or not, the same way that you guys have fond memories of looking back and playing 2K5, Madden 2006, whatever, there's a kid that grew up playing Madden 18, Madden 19, Madden 20 that has fond memories of playing Ultimate Team. They have fond memories of going through the solo challenges. You know, there were probably no money spent. I mean, maybe, they growing up, their dads gave them here's $20 to open up a pack, and exposing kids to gambling. Yeah, I get that, but the point is they have fond memories. So really, you guys are not that different, okay? That is it. That is my rant for number 3 or number 2. Alrighty, so we have reached the number 3. And this spot, I could just say Ryan Moody 21. I mean, there's him, and there's probably, I mean, you go on the Reddit posts, like the Reddit Madden community, and there's a few people like here and there that'll, do the breakdowns that Ryan Moody does, but I've been following Madden for a while, and I've never seen someone cover Madden like this guy has. Obviously he's known as Madden's biggest hater. Well, he used to be. He kind of got entangled into some pretty shady some pretty shady stuff as of late. So I'm not going to touch on that, but you look at these videos. This was released 16 years ago. Madden 2009 coverage issues need resolved in 2010. Now, the haters might see this video, Madden 2009 coverage issues need resolved in 2010, and say, wow, this guy has been making the same video for the past 16 years. But you know what? I'm going to say that Ryan Moody is actually a fan of Madden. I respect Ryan Moody myself personally. Because you don't make videos about coverage issues, situational awareness. I mean, this guy is in the weeds now. He's the guy that is actually, he's analyzing the game, and he's saying, hey, this is the kind of stuff that needs to get better. You guys need to pay attention to detail, right? Now, my only problem with this is like, he's been playing Madden, and he's covering some pretty obscure stuff like coverage issues, etc. Um, if Madden doesn't get the most fundamental stuff correct, what makes you think if they can't get the most fundamental things correct that they're going to fix things like coverage issues and situational awareness and things like that? Ryan Moody would be the kind of guy that there's a gas leak in his car. So he goes to the auto body shop, and he says, I have a gas leak. Sir, you have a gas leak in your car. Okay, well, you can fix that, but really what I want you to pay attention to is this little dent in the hood of my car. Ignore the gas leak, ignore the oil that's dripping off of the engine. That's going to destroy my engine because I don't have any oil that's going to be running my car, but focus on this dent. That's what I want you to focus on. So, but, I respect Ryan Moody. Now it's time to get to the final Madden hater. Alright, so we finally made it. Now, this is the hater this is going to be known as your casual haters. This kind of hater is the guy that says Madden is the same game every year. Those are the people that are the casual viewers. Enter Angry Joe. This guy has this guy has made a video about Madden the same way, even though he says Madden is the same way, so I guess it makes sense. He makes one video a year of Madden, and then he doesn't make another video or plays it again until another year. And the problem with this is that these guys have absolutely zero idea of what the other three people are going through. They are not in the weeds like they are. They don't know what we're going through. They don't know the problems. They don't know what we're talking about. And there's literally nothing. If you have the mindset that Madden is the same game every year, it is a sports game. How different can a sports game be? Like, James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, explained this perfectly for you guys.
Most of the video games I talk about are action games, side scrollers, games that are in the realms of fantasy. But there's a huge following for games based on sports, and I get a lot of requests for that. And I'm not really a big fan because I don't know. I guess I like fantasy games more because it's something that you couldn't do in real life, whereas a sports game, you could go outside and play sports. It's possible. Not for me, because I don't know anything about.
Right? So, games that you guys play that, it's different because it's fantasy. There's a lot of stuff you can do in fantasy. In sports, there are specific rules that you have to follow, otherwise, it's not real football. So, therefore, yes, it is going to look the same every year. And if you want to comment and say, I'll take it if you're someone that wants to say that Madden has been the same for every year, but you have to, in order for me to take you seriously, you have to send me a screenshot of you playing Madden, and it has to be more than 10 hours. Don't give me a screenshot that you've been playing Madden 25 and you only had 10 minutes or 30 minutes of playtime in the game because you have absolutely no idea what it is you're talking about. So, but this is the problem because EA Sports objectively, these are the players that EA Sports tries to win back. And that's the whole motivation of making this video, is that EA Sports, they spend all their time trying to come up with terms in the trailers. They talk about all this stuff like boom tech and, players hit reactions, so that when casuals like Flight Reacts and all these guys give their reaction to trailers, they don't play Madden, but they're like, ooh, that looks interesting. They spend half their budget doing that than trying to take care of their core audience, and that is the problem. And you're not going to win them back because, like Angry Joe, they're going to come back for 2 hours, they're going to make their video, and then they're going to play other games. But me, I'm going to continue to play Madden all year, and I'm going to be ignored. Tired of being the side hoe. That's it. Peace.